Now on Talking Solutions, back for another visit, Lynda Tache from the Grant to Gift Autism Foundation. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Terry. Thank you for having me back. It's always fun to catch up.
For anyone who hasn't heard our previous discussions about autism, really informative, and I promise you the same thing today. I know autism has certainly been out there as far as raising the awareness overall, but people have still got to come up to you and say, what is Grant to Gift? What's that all about?
Right.
What do you tell them?
Grant to Gift primarily is an organization that helps fill in the fundraising and service gaps that are in the community. We do a lot of things. We partner with a lot of different organizations to help bring quality programs to children so they can have good outcomes. But we also provide navigation. That's one of the things when families first get diagnosed, or let's say that they're not sure if their child has autism, they feel really isolated and alone. So Grant to Gift really wants to be that organization that embraces and holds the family's hand to show them where to go to get the help that they need, and then what funding is out there so they can get that help as well. And once they know that someone's in their corner and by their side, they don't feel as hopeless and isolated. So, that in a major way, in addition to the awareness and education we provide, is a lot of what we do.
That support group structure is so critical. I bet you did not have that when your son Grant was diagnosed back 2000-ish?
Yes. He was born in 2001, and then I knew at 9 months that I saw signs, but it was a struggle to get answers. It took a few years, but yes, it was really challenging and devastating because I'm an educated professional and I couldn't get answers to help my son. But it's hard, and a lot of our friends didn't understand. A lot of family members didn't understand what was happening and thought it was, maybe my parenting skills or, just discipline him more. But that wasn't the case of what he needed with his struggles.
It's a whole different, more complex issue.
Yes.
Lynda Tache is with us from the Grant to Gift for Autism Foundation. The name of the organization has to do with your son, Grant, doesn't it?
Yes. Grant has been my inspiration. In fact, he has a new title called Chief Inspiration Officer.
Oh, I love that.
Because now he's old enough and he's understanding because of the supports and the therapies that we were able to get him through our organization and other partnerships. He's doing really well. He's 15, and now he's starting to speak on behalf of our organization and talk to other kids his age and become a peer, and he still has a lot of things he's working on, but he's understanding what Grant to Gift means now, that it's for other people, it's for others, and he's that inspiration. And then, of course, he's a gift. I think any child is a gift, but then when they can bring these types of things to your life that you can help others, hence Grant to Gift. That's how we came up with the name.
I just love the title, Chief Inspiration Officer.
Yes.
You're going to get him business cards?
We did. I'll bring you one. Next time I come, I will. It's adorable. They're just like the same as my business card that says founder, president.
Well, and if he actually goes out, Grant, of course, he's autistic.
Yes.
And it was his situation, and you're dealing with it and finding a lack of information, a lack of services that helped you through your struggle in getting him what he needed.
Yes.
And for you as the family unit to get what you needed. It was all of those steps that led to the creation of the Grant to Gift for Autism Foundation. Now, over the years too, Lynda, awareness of autism has to have really ballooned because it's getting out there that this is something that is far more frequent than people realized.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's amazing how many people now are starting, as they get aware of us, they're starting to reach out to us because a lot of grandparents now, which is so interesting, that's a whole nother generation of family members that need support. And we're looking to start a grandparent support group because they have their own questions and needs, right, of how to help their children help their children. But it was just the culmination of the journey that it took me to get answers and help for my son really got us to where we are today, wanting to make sure that families don't have to struggle. So if there's information I have that I can share so that families don't have to go through that struggle as much. And what's nice is it keeps growing because the support that I saw was missing in the community, I've actually become part of that solution. So I've actually joined some state-funded projects so that I can actually help even change systems that have better outcomes for families as well. So there's just a lot of things I've discovered along the journey that has helped us get where we are today.
Well, the great thing is the things that you encountered during your journey, as you said, with a son with autism, you now are able to help families who now deal with it in their own homes.
Yes.
To avoid some of the things that you had to go through.
Yes.
Give them shortcuts, options, give them, as we mentioned, the support. I love the idea that Grant is actually going out now and speaking on behalf of the organization, because what we've heard over the years, primarily boys, more so than girls.
Yes.
The numbers of kids diagnosed with autism always seem to be growing.
Yes.
Do you know what they are now these days?
You know, it's still, there's a combination. The leading experts in the world are saying that a lot of it is the awareness. So there's more awareness coming to families and children and youth and adults that have autism. That's one thing. There is also a larger spectrum of that diagnosis that's in the medical journals that doctors diagnose under. So that's kind of helped make the population larger. But they do say there is some genetic component, some predisposition that is in there, but they don't know what triggers it for the person to actually show the signs and the symptoms of it. And they think it's environmental, but still there's a lot of research and theories, but really they don't have an exact answer yet.
I want to say that we have a higher incidence here in Southern Nevada.
Yes.
And as we mentioned, more boys than girls.
Yes. Out of every 5 children or people, 4 of them will be male. It's just mind-blowing. And they've done, again, some studies. They think maybe it's related to the chromosomes, the XY versus the XX. That's maybe why boys are more affected. These are all just theories, but I know I can count on one hand how many girls have been in Grant's classes in school. Very, very few females versus males. It's very interesting.
Well, and you're going to be super aware of the people who have autism in your presence.
Yes.
Because of what you do.
Yes.
The spectrum that we talked about, the higher numbers of people who are being diagnosed with autism these days. I heard a while back they even think, looking back on it, chances are good that Albert Einstein was autistic.
Yes. In fact, there is a book out there. I have not read it, but it's called What If They Cured Albert Einstein? Right?
Really?
And it talks about the gifts that he had, but they definitely believe he was on the spectrum. And he was one of those savants. There's a whole population of children or people that have special gifts. And obviously he was a genius and the theory of, I guess, relativity. So there's a lot of children that have these special gifts. And Albert Einstein was one of those. That just shows you that everybody has a potential. If he would have been limited or, not able to do what he needed to do, our world would probably be a lot different. But yes.
Imagine.
I think that's encouraging. My son loves filmmaking, so I call him my little Steven Spielberg. In fact, there's a lot of different actors and movie people, even technology figures that they say would probably be diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, you find that those creative types in many cases just can't do things the way the rest of the world does.
Right.
They say, I cannot drive to work and do the 9 to 5 and just fit in the same little round peg. As everybody else.
Yes. And that's an interesting point that you bring up because the unemployment rate for adults with autism is as high as 85%.
Whoa.
And a lot of them don't have an intellectual disability. So really, this is the greater challenge today because all of these kids are growing. Every year, there's 500,000 or more kids aging out into adulthood. And there's a lack of services in that area as well. So we really have to, I think, as a community and as a society, understand what this is and why. Instead of trying to fit this round peg into a square box, right? What are they good at? And then that leads into that entrepreneurial part that you were just talking about. And I'm really excited to say we will be doing a entrepreneurial workshop for youth and young adults affected by autism. That's going to be held at our center on October 22nd. I'm really excited. It's another area that we're expanding into because that's a lifespan.
Sure, because the kids are growing up.
Yes.
Learning how to deal with autism.
Right. And then giving them that confidence to reach their full potential. And that's really what drives me as founder of this organization, constantly seeking what are the needs to help all of these people live the most full and productive life, regardless of their abilities.
Exactly.
Or where they're at on the spectrum.
Lynda Tache from Grant a Gift for Autism Foundation is with us today on Talking Solutions. Lynda, you would be surprised. Your name pops up in other interviews. I had Nevada Pep in-house here a couple weeks back, and I was talking to Stephanie Versnick. Her son, autistic, now in his 20s. He's been working for well more than a dozen years at, I believe, the commissary at Nellis.
Awesome.
He works in the produce department. Everything is perfect. He takes his break for 10 minutes. Yep. Exactly 10 minutes. To which I said, because that's what he's comfortable with. Yep. And she said, exactly. They love him. He's dependable.
Wonderful.
People with autism, male or female, no matter what their situation, can do amazing things.
Yes. You know, even as parents, we tend to limit our children because we want to protect them. Or even in society, you know, you think if someone has an illness or a disability or something, you think, oh, we have to treat it differently. There's always accommodations, but we have to look at everyone as a person and how do we help them get from here to there. But yes, I mean, I think that's wonderful and inspiring to hear that there's others out there that have succeeded, like the gentleman you were just telling me about.
And Grant himself, the namesake, the Chief Inspirational Officer for the Grant a Gift for Autism Foundation. One of the things that we hear frequently about autism is that these kids are kind of off in the corner and they're not dealing well with others unless they get the right treatment, and they're sensitive to lights and sounds. And you're telling me that he's getting out and talking in front of groups.
Yes.
That's huge.
It's very huge because he doesn't seem to have that fear, which is good. I wish I was more like that, but he doesn't think about it if he goes and talks in front of people. So that's a positive. But yeah, he just really seems to enjoy sharing his story, getting out there and just helping others. He just loves it. I'm just so proud of him. I never pictured him ever doing this, by the way. When I first found out he had autism, I thought, oh no, all of these dreams and hopes that I've had for him are gone. And now I realize that no, he's just amazing and just such an inspiration. I'm really proud of him.
You had no idea that down the road have his own YouTube channel and have people who are his followers and subscribers and watching his work. And
exactly.
And when you mentioned that he doesn't have that thing in his mind that makes him afraid of speaking in front of a group, that's how DJs are autistic. I wonder how they're going to take that.
I love it.
You've got a lot going on. I've been hearing Grant a Gift for Autism Foundation all summer long on Fox 5 because they were doing one of those weather things that all the channels do every year where every day it's 100 or better, we're going to give $100 to. And so they donated a bunch of money to you guys.
They did. And we'd like to also thank Ford Country because Ford Country was the one that partnered up with Fox 5. And the end result was there were 83 days in the summer that reached 100. Yeah. So that gave us a generous $8,300 check that we can put towards programs and services and help more kids that are on those waiting lists. We were so honored and blessed. The word got out more, which was really nice too. The money always helps, but then awareness helps too.
That's huge.
Yeah.
This is the year for your group.
I know.
For Grant a Gift. Tell everybody about this center at UNLV. What is going on with that?
It is so exciting. UNLV has a new School of Medicine.
Yep.
So they are actually going to be doing these clinical partnerships in the community that will be part of their practice plan so that the med students now can rotate through these centers. And the exciting part of that is what I was saying earlier about the doctor not understanding.
Yep.
Now that's going to change. So that's a really exciting thing because this new generation of doctors and paratherapists that come in are going to be able to be trained and knowledgeable going into the community. But I think the other exciting part is as a parent, there are so many therapies that go into serving a child that has autism. There's at least 4 or 5 that I can think of, whether it's speech, OT, physical therapy sometimes, behavior therapy, getting a proper diagnosis, medication management. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. In the past, families have had to drive to a bunch of different places across the valley if they can. And not only that, sometimes the cost of things, they have to pick and choose. That's what we had to do, pick and choose what therapies we would do for our child. Now, with this new center, the idea is that it's a medical support home for families that have children with autism or other neurodevelopmental abilities. It's really exciting. So we've partnered with the School of Medicine. We've combined our wraparound service programs with their medical, and it's officially called the UNLV Ackerman Autism Center.
Ackerman as in Gary Ackerman.
As in Mr. Gary Ackerman.
With Ford Country.
Our inspiration and hero, and a lot of people aren't aware, but he has a son in his 30s that is affected by autism. So back in the day, Gary had even additional struggles because there wasn't even some place here to diagnose his son. He had to go to UCLA. We've come really far, but there's still a long way to go. So we are so proud to have Gary's name on this center because he has just been our angel and really helped us get to where we are today. This new center is also going to be serving Medicaid patients. The center's working on the billing contracts now, so we'll be able to accept insurance. And then, of course, Grant to Gift still has the scholarship program for those families that don't have Medicaid or their insurance is too pricey for them to get the coverage.
Right.
So we're going to be filling in those gaps. We want to take away all the barriers, financial barriers, and even the socioeconomic barriers and even cultural barriers. We have bilingual staff that serves the Hispanic population. We have a social work team. It's just amazing. We have medical doctors. We have a neurologist. We have geneticists. We have developmental pediatricians, general pediatricians, clinical psychologists. It goes on and on. And the exciting part, Terry, is that this is the first time that Nevada has had a center of its kind with this scope of services. And we believe and know that we will become a model for the country, other academic institutions. And it's just really, really exciting what we've been able to do. Our ribbon cutting ceremony is October 13th at the center, and we will be doing live tours. But at any point in time, if somebody's interested, they can give us a call at 702-564-2453 and set up a private tour to see what we're doing. Also, some people may be in a position to give some support that can help grow the capacity to serve more families.
We're talking today with Lynda Tache from the Grant to Gift for Autism Foundation. Back when you, as a mom, were going through the diagnosis of autism for your son Grant, it took a lot longer to get the diagnosis. Mm-hmm. The services weren't available. So many barriers. There's just no way that you could have envisioned what is happening with the Grant to Gift for Autism Foundation, where Grant is. He's amazing.
I know.
All of the advancements, the fact that now with UNLV and the School of Medicine, you've now got this one-stop center for families. I would imagine it shakes you to your core when you find out, no matter how many good things are on the horizon, that your child has been diagnosed with autism.
Yes, I mean, that is the absolute beginning of the journey, and that has to happen before you can go any further. That is the first step, and a lot of times in the past, once that happens, then the families don't know what to do, but now they can get that diagnosis. Then there's a whole lifespan of care that is available after the fact, and no matter where that family is at the time that they contact us, there's a way we can fit them into one or more of our services. I'm blessed. I have to tell you, Terry, I thank all of you. You have been faithful to have us on your show and get the word out, and everyone that has stepped up since 2009 when this was started to sponsor us, attend events, volunteer, get us on the radio, TV, everything, all of that together, I believe, has enabled us to be here today. And I definitely don't take any of it for granted. And I have to pinch myself, some days because it's just so surreal for me, but it's exciting. And I am honored to have this responsibility.
Lynda, when we were first talking, we went through the dark days, the diagnosis, didn't know where to go, shaking your whole world. And it's blooming into something really wonderful that benefits so many other people. And to see the growth that Grant is experiencing, I can see the smile on your face. You are one proud mama.
It makes me happy. I am proud mama, right?
So autism, nobody ever wants the diagnosis, but now there are resources, there are support services.
Yes.
All a family would have to do is call the number and say, my child has just been diagnosed with autism, and the door opens for so many things to help them through that journey.
Yes, absolutely. And they can always also visit our website, granttogiftfoundation.org, and there's a way can link them to the application process for the center through the UNLV Ackerman site as well. So either way, call us or visit us online and you can get plugged in. We definitely are here to help.
It's pretty exciting to know what kids can do when they are given the right opportunities.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing.
One of the things, of course, that we ask about every time, Lynda, is since we are talking solutions, we always say, what can we do to help you?
Thank you for asking that. Really, it takes a bunch of people coming together to do what this is. And there's different ways to support our organization. And one, of course, is if someone has time and doesn't have a lot of financial resources, we have a volunteer program that they can, again, go online and take a look and get involved with different activities. But most importantly, we do need the financial support to keep going and keep doing what we do. And again, to build that capacity. So we actually have one of our largest fundraisers right around the corner on November 5th. It is our, I can't believe it, 7th annual Fashion for Autism Gala. Our fashion partner this year is Diane von Furstenberg, so we're very excited. Her designs are lovely, and it's going to be at the Aria Resort November 5th. That's a Saturday, so that's not a school night. We usually have it during the week, so this year it's going to be fun.
That's big.
Yes, and it's going to be a lovely evening. We have a great silent auction champagne reception. Then we have a dinner program. We have the fashion show, and then most importantly, we're going to be honoring some people that have really stepped up to make a difference for this cause. Of course, it just makes sense that Gary is getting our Ambassador for Autism Award, so Gary Ackerman will be honored. But then we are also honoring Len Jessup, who is the president of UNLV, because his support was very instrumental in getting this partnership collaboration together.
The new center.
The new center, exactly. And we are also going to be honoring 2 young adults that are affected by autism that, again, have overcome the odds and have done amazing things. One person, Luke Keckman, is now working at Subway. He has a paying job. We give Subway a lot of thanks for stepping up as a community partner. And Donna Curry is now our incoming chairman of the board, who oversees a lot of these Subways and owns them and is making sure that they get involved as a community partner. So we're going to be honoring Luke with the Community Achievement Award, and then Megan Crandy, she's going to be getting the other Community Achievement Award. She's really overcome a lot of obstacles and is a very successful young woman, and we're so proud. So, we have to recognize those that are living this, that are benefiting from the support that these other wonderful people are doing.
You help families, you help kids with autism, and look at the products that come out. That gives me a warm feeling to think of how it's going to feel for both of those kids to be standing on stage, accepting accolades, and the audience making them feel great.
Yes, and it's a really fun event. I know most of our sponsors return every year, and they go to so many galas, but they say, I have no trouble filling my table because people love to come to this. It's a really warm, engaging night, and they're able to make a difference, and they learn, too. We are going to be talking about what is autism. We're going to be showing a video. We're also going to be talking about the center in more detail, how others can get involved. So if someone is able to come that evening, it's definitely worth their time and money, definitely.
You know that I'll have all the links on our Talking Solutions Facebook page. And, of course, like always, a podcast of our discussion today. It's a wonderful event.
Yes, November 5th.
There is so much to shine a light on when it comes to autism, from the numbers, the diagnosis, the stuff families go through, the things they need, the services out there. There is so much. Every time you're here, we talk about something totally different.
I know.
And it's really exciting just to be able to share the awareness about autism, because I think people are now hearing about it enough to where they're starting to get it.
Sure.
I know the last time you were here, one of the things that we did touch on briefly was that when you are in a store or a restaurant and maybe at another table or nearby, there's a family who has a child who is having an issue and is loud, maybe a little disruptive, just to understand. I believe you said all you ask is don't judge.
Yes. Don't judge. And if it seems appropriate, even asking, is there anything I can do to help? And then that person will let you know if there is or isn't. But yes, don't judge.
And now for people who have autism in their family, one of their children, maybe more, because there is a genetic component.
Yes.
but for people who deal with autism from the standpoint of having it in their midst, now they have more resources thanks to the Grant a Gift Autism Foundation. That's got to be a great feeling.
Yes, it is.
Lynda Tache, we are proud of all you do. So proud of Grant, the Chief Inspiration Officer. I love that title for the Grant a Gift Autism Foundation. Please do check our Talking Solutions Facebook page for the links. Get involved. Go to the fundraiser at the Aria, November 5th, Saturday night. Having a great time. It sounds like fun. So if there's anything we can do to help, you call on us, and we so appreciate you being here as part of Talking Solutions.
Thank you, Terry, so much.